In an overnight military strike ordered by President Trump this weekend, the U.S. captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores. The two were whisked out of the country and brought to the United States to, quote, face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. Questions now remain about the legality of the operation and who takes over leadership in Venezuela. Brigadier General John Teichert is the Assistant Deputy Undersecretary of the Air Force and International Affairs at the Pentagon, and he's joining us this morning. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
Patrice, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So what is your reaction to the capture of Maduro and his wife and the fact that they're now here in the U.S. and about to be in court in New York today?
Patrice, the key now is to turn what was a dazzling tactical and operational success on Friday night into a similarly dazzling strategic success. And so all of those things that we did with an integrated precise joint force on Friday night will be for naught if we don't properly handle the follow-on governance and transition plan in Venezuela. And that's what the administration should be and is focusing on now.
A lot of people saying this just was not a legal operation. You call it a dazzling, spectacular one. They're questioning whether you just go into another, sovereign country and take the leadership there. What do you say to that?
Patrice, I think those conversations are right about the legality of this. Maduro was a designated leader of a foreign terrorist organization. He was a rogue regime leader, not the duly elected leader of Venezuela. Those are the pretexts that the administration used to undertake this operation. But again, now we own the situation in Venezuela as the United States because of our actions on Friday night, and we need to properly follow through with proper governance.
Speaking of owning it, the president said that we will run the government of Venezuela. Secretary of State Marco Rubio walked that back some, saying the U.S. is going to continue to enforce the oil quarantine that was already in place there, use that for leverage to try to get some policy changes. But what exactly does all of that look like?
Patrice, you're right that the Secretary of State did walk that back and described how we would provide strategic guidance to Rodriguez, now the acting president in Venezuela. But the linchpin to success going forward is establishing a duly elected government. They selected a government, Venezuela did, in 2024. Gonzalez is in exile in Spain. Machado, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, is there in Venezuela. And it is incumbent upon us to establish them in power as quickly as possible. And that would allow us to meet our interests, but also meet the interests and the will of the Venezuelan people.
Does that require American troops on the ground? Will we see that?
Patrice, I don't expect so. Now that Rodriguez has demonstrated much more compliance and collaboration in her tone last night, that she will be the transition figure that will allow the United States to help facilitate the duly elected government standing up in Venezuela.
So a lot of shots over the weekend, some Venezuelans cheering, some folks, Venezuelans here in the U.S. cheering about what happened. But what do they think about the American involvement, and what will their view be of having us so heavily involved, Americans controlling their oil, which we say is to help them out and to get a bigger share of it? But how will they view this?
Patrice, I think there's a lot of cautious optimism here. No doubt universally Maduro was seen as an onerous figure, but the key is for us, again, to legitimize our actions by helping meet the will of the Venezuelan people. And I think if we do so by helping them establish a duly elected government like I described, then now those people that are hesitant in their support would be universal in the support because would be meeting the will of the Venezuelan people while removing this onerous dictator who was Maduro.
All right. Well, we'll continue to watch how this plays out and what other countries think about what has happened and their reaction to all of this as well. General Teichert, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Patrice.